Hello and welcome to Official Xbox 360 Magazine's OXM report, and this week we're talking to Volition about Saints Row III's unique take on the sandbox genre. So I'm here with Scott Phillips, who's the project design director for Saints Row III. Now, the third, that's a bit of a regal sounding title. What's the thinking behind that?
Well, the idea was we wanted to set the franchise as a new start. This is a reset of kind of the visuals of the gameplay is the complete over-the-topness, but we've gone beyond that. Kind of give people the expectation that it's going to be something new. It's not just the same old Saints Row 2.
So new game, new city, Steelport. Tell me about what Steelport's like.
So Steelport is the home of the Syndicate. They're the home of the Morningstar that run the Syndicate. It's kind of a city that was once great. It's kind of like a Detroit in that it used to be the capital of something. It used to be really important, but it's seen hard times and it's kind of fallen apart. Things were going to crap, and then the Syndicate just said, all right, let's move in here. We can own the government. They can do stuff for us. The police will be on our payroll. So they moved in. They brought in all the sex trade. They brought in the casinos and the drugs and all of that stuff and made it a hub for their organization. So it's kind of, it's like Tijuana and Bangkok and that sort of feeling of just complete, you can get the worst vices possible in this city. And so that's the home of the Syndicate. That's why they're there, is they're bringing that complete over the top beyond what you'd see in the real world, but it references stuff like being a steel city and being old while also having this just dripping with sin feeling to it.
And what position do the Saints find themselves in at the start of the game?
At the very, very start of the game, they're at the top. They're number one in their minds. They're stars. They're celebrities. People love them. They have comic books. They have movies, bobbleheads, energy drinks, all of that sort of stuff. They've cashed in on their celebrity, and so at the beginning of the game they've even got a ride-along actor with them who's trying to learn, his method acting from the actual Saints, from the gang members. Very quickly though, they rob a bank from the wrong group, which is the Syndicate. The Syndicate then offers them a deal, which is 66% of their income goes to the Syndicate, and the Saints they're not going to have that. And so they start this huge battle with the Syndicate. The Saints start to move into Steelport. They start taking over things from the Syndicate. And as things move on, it goes even crazier than that, because just like in the real world, when Tijuana started going to crap, that they sent in the military. So our guys sent in the military too, and you're fighting a two-front war of the Syndicate and this military force that has technology that's way beyond any real-world military, and you get those toys to play with as you go throughout the story.
Now, I mean, one of the priorities for this game is turning everything up to 11, essentially, and that includes the weapons. I mean, you've got some pretty explosive stuff in there.
Absolutely. We tried to not just do, I've got my shotgun, I've got my rifle, we've got all that stuff, but that wasn't where we put our focus. Our focus was, what are crazy new weapons that you've never seen before? And that's where things like the airstrike, where you can call in a military airstrike on an area in front of you and just lay complete rain to it. Or we've got the RC vehicle gun, which allows you to take over another car and drive it around as its driver doesn't understand what's going on, and they start ramming into things. Or you can take over an airplane and ram it into a car on the ground. You can take over the military hardware and start laying rain to the city, with everyone thinking that it was that military driver. He was just going crazy. So we tried to take the weapons just way beyond what you've seen in any other open world game and give them to the player early, let you play around with these weapons and have fun with them in the city. But they're also they're not game breaking, because we have these other forces that are so powerful that while you have these really powerful weapons, you've got a force that can counter almost everything that you do. So it's an always interesting balance where you feel super powerful and then your notoriety goes up and you start getting your ass kicked.
Do you find it baffling that more people in the open world genre don't go over the top? Given that in most of these games you spend a lot of your time on the pavement running over pedestrians and things like that.
I'm glad they don't, honestly. I'm cool with Saints Row the Third being, you know, the only open world game that gives you that sort of freedom to be insane. I think a lot of people focus their games on, I want the player to experience this story and only this part of what I want them to experience. And that sort of limits like what you can do in the open world, and that's not at all what Saints Row the Third is about. Our games are about, you know, what is fun? Okay, let's put that in the game. Let players have fun with it. And if it doesn't really fit, but it's fun, well, we'll put it in and we'll make it fit. And that's how we approach everything, is if we can prove out that it's fun and players want to do it, we're going to keep it in there, but we're going to try and make it fit within the whole. We're not going to pull out something just because it doesn't fit. We're just going to figure out a way to smooth it out and make it fit with everything else.
For all the exclusive details on Saints Row the Third, pick up the latest copy of OXM on shop shelves now.